purely speculation. But that seems to be the same story.
That's what
We are
Heard that too?
we're
Yeah,
streaming
that's what I
at
heard.
this point.
like you say, it's, who knows if it's true.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, it's too bad.
Oh, yeah, right after you do.
So you're gonna keep your
You know,
Their neighbors, fortunately, they're free.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll make some adjustments in that. Adjust it to
Make sure this process is smooth as it's trying to be.
Yeah.
Because they want to build, obviously.
agendas are already working. Yes, sir.
our best friends.
We're doing something on the road.
So.
I'm gonna share it with you.
All right.
So I was riding a bicycle the other day. Well, I guess it's your
Coming down 62, I got hit. 40-mile-an-hour winds. I was glued to that seat, you know, when I made high school. Bringing it back up.
I read those.
It's just, it's a possibility. And understand. We just need, I think, calls, but I don't determine selling
Is the national night out still on next Tuesday?
Contracts, and they're trying to figure out if they're going.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Last time I spoke to Hannah, she had.
It's the
everything
fourth?
set.
Is it August the fourth?
It's August 4th, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
I didn't realize it was.
Yeah.
Should
My
mention
goodness,
that.
yes, that is right, it is.
Right here.
Outside.
Gotcha.
Yes. And if we're doing Kona ice, we'll provide Kona ice in the, on our own pocket.
And the street parking, so you park on the street sides. We don't have no parking on it, so park on the street.
The dentist was agreeable to have anybody use that part in it and the back.
It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. Justin, would you like to give us an invocation, please?
Sure, let us pray. Father, we thank you so much for your love and for your goodness. Father, I pray that you would bless this time and guide this time now as this time meets. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, on the agenda, I would like to add, after the utility policy manual, a motion to update the fee schedule, which we'll discuss at the time. What we're talking is the deposit fee on renters and all. So I I'd like to add that in after the utility policy. And does anyone else have any comments on the agenda? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed, motion carries 6-0. Is there any discussion on the June 22nd, 2026 meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed, motion carries 6-0. At this time, I'd like to open up the microphone for public comment. This is for agenda items only. If it's on the agenda, you can comment on it before we discuss it. Anything else, save to the end of the meeting. And you need to come up to the microphone, give your name and address, and you can talk for 3 minutes. Is there any public comment? Okay, if there's no public comment, we'll move on to the ORC report, Arnold.
So we're gonna report tonight, Burke Station, we're still waiting on construction to begin, so hoping that'll be soon. Pond Station's doing good. NC62 pump station, we did have to pull one pump out and had to send it to the shop. Water got in the oil, but we had another pump in the shop, so we got 2 pumps in service. We do have one in the shop having it worked on. Distribution, everything's good there. We did manhole inspection, creek crossings for the 6-month state requirement. Jerry had already done the 10% jetting of the lines over in that area, Heritage Glen area. But we're still having a really big problem now with 4-wheelers and stuff on the trail. They're entering on Serenity.
Okay.
And they're taking building materials now, putting on the trail so it can't mow it. And they're building ramps now to jump over, so something probably needs to be enforced on that.
Well, that's all one shoot through where we took that building out down here at
Yeah, I've
62,
seen that too.
they're using it too.
It's a big problem over, I mean, there's no vegetation even growing on the sewer line, after Serenity and all the way back, so that's probably gonna wash out on. And
Rusty's been fighting it for a few
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
And then also they're coming down Alamance Baptist Loop. And we have someone on Pond Road who's come in several times to complain. There's a piece of property that they own that's in the village, but they live on Pond Road. But apparently those 4-wheelers are running all the way back.
Same trail, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then they're using the pond that the school owns on Pond Road. But more than that, they're throwing trash everywhere. So I don't know who's doing it, but they are being a menace.
Like I said, there's a lot of building material leaving them houses up there and getting down the trail. Okay, any questions, buddy?
Thank you. Trenton, engineering report, please.
Heritage Glen, Phase 5C, as-built and the plat were submitted for review. They both seem to be accepted when I've sent them back this morning. Where the plat will have to wait for the latest testing, but the water line has finally been tested and certified and is able to be placed in service. The sewer and storm videos have also been approved. All I'm waiting for is the sewer laterals or the sewer services for those videos. Once I receive those, I'll review and approve, but looks like we're getting towards the end. And then the Birch Street pump station contractor's been given the authorization to construct both the force main and the pump station improvements, and we're still awaiting materials.
Okay, thank you.
Any idea when he's gonna get it, his material?
I plan to call him tomorrow and see kind of where he's at. I figured he'd have the pipe by now. The panels are still gonna be probably 2 months or so.
Okay, Ms. Dean, the text.gov update.
We've been working with them to go live, so this is what the page on the website is gonna look like. It's not a live page necessarily yet, but this is what they've given us to review. So when people go here, they're gonna be able to read about the things that they can do and how to reach out, the numbers that they can text, notifications they can sign up for. Then over here in the corner, we have the little widget that has our 9186, well, let me put my glasses on. 91896. You can text Alamance to that, and that's gonna get you, signed up. And then you've got the option to text, like I think this one says you can text hi to a legit phone number, and that's one where you can get, information. If you're looking for, you can text keywords. It'll be a little bit of a process for us, but we're building it right now. We'll continue building it. That if you had like trash, if you text trash in, it'll send you straight to the calendar that we have on the website, and it'll show you. So hopefully that would answer any questions. Or if you had an ordinance question or a zoning question, they should shoot you right to the page that you need. So we're hoping that this will be a really beneficial service. You can also text in if there's a tree down or you see water running down the road or something, you can text alerts into us as well. So it should be kind of two-way communication. And then also we're going to build a page where each month we'll have a full statement or, kind of a newsletter that we'll put out that's different than what goes out in the newsletter and calendar. Kind of be from the mayor page, and just keep everybody, all the village updated as to the goings on or anything particular that's happening that may be relevant to anyone. But this page should be live, and the numbers should be live the first week of August.
Anyone have questions? Okay, moving on. Code enforcement on 2971 Elder Lane.
Pat? So we have a property, 2971 Elder. It's really become a problem property.
It's a mess. I don't know if anybody's looked at it, I have, it is a mess.
And that's better than it was.
Yes.
The front yard is cleaned up a little bit at least. But it
So-
is a mess.
This particular property had some folks in it that ran up a sizable water bill, and the person who owns the home has disappeared essentially.
They found her in Orange County. It's not
They
what I've heard.
they found her. Now I have made probably 20 different attempts to get in touch with her, and I cannot reach her by phone, by email. So social services stepped in and paid to keep the water on because her son was there. And then within that month gap, he was gone. They ran the bill up when we went to bill again, and they were out of the house. But someone came in before we got the water shut off and squatted there, basically. So they ran a pool full of water, we are assuming, because they were able to use $650 worth of water in about 3 weeks. So the bill that is left at this property is $1,317.52 with no one for us to reach out to. The issue now is the folks that are or were squatting at the house have trashed the yard. Like, I think they were eating fast food and throwing it all in the yard. I think that they may have drug things out of the house. I don't know what the,
Yeah, there were some things out by the garage that is old propane tank.
The doors off the garage.
Yeah,
somebody's gotten that off.
And,
trash all in front of the garage.
the neighbors
all
feel
over the
like
tank.
they're messing with drugs in there. And that wouldn't surprise me a bit in the world.
That was what was going on previously.
And,
At the
well,
house.
the son got arrested for cocaine. So,
Okay.
The sheriff's aware of this house, I would say.
Have you cut the water off now?
Oh, yes, and the meter is locked. We had it cut. As soon as we did the water bills, we thought that it was empty. But when we did the water bills and saw what had happened, we went out, we had an officer go out and we locked the meter so that it couldn't just, and they're gonna have to break it to turn it back on. The issue that we're having now is, do we clean up the yard, clean up the trash, mow the yard, or do we move on to civil penalties where we know no one's getting the bill, no one's paying anything, no one's receiving the letters that we're sending,
Got no response at all.
and so either we are gonna take the responsibility to clean this yard up, or we're gonna impose civil penalties that are just going to go to an astronomical amount.
She's got a sister that lives behind the Dollar General. I've heard that, so you can reach out to her.
I do remember the sister talking with us because she said that the owner was blind and essentially had to have a caretaker. So I don't know where things are, but we did have someone reach out to say that they had the legal right to rent the house, and they had an agreement with the homeowner, but they could not produce that. They never came up here. I asked if she had an agreement, and she said she did. But they never came up here to pay a deposit, but they were the ones that were in the home. So he has seen them there. Hannah drove by when she was data logging, and there was a male that came out of the house and was pretty intimidating, and he approached her car and he wanted to know who she was and who she was looking for and why she kept driving up and down the road. So she just said she worked for the town and she was trying to scooch on. So,
Well, there's somebody in there now.
okay.
I mean, it was a car there when I went a few
So-
days ago.
We
I
have an
saw somebody
abandoned,
sitting in the car when I went by too.
And the thing about it, the neighbors tell me when the sheriff department comes up the street, they've been driving around the back trying to hide their vehicle like nobody's there, so.
I do see one that's hidden in the back. It's a black car. Usually you see the
Yeah,
grill.
it's a
But there
Chevy.
is an abandoned car that's in the driveway that stays there all the time.
Yeah, I think that was part of the people that
They're
were caught up in the
previously,
drug deal. I
yeah.
think that was part of their car. Because it had current tags, the tags just expired on that car.
One of the other issues we have is that the property's posted.
Posted no trespassing, so if you do anything on there, you gotta go get an administrative warrant to do anything.
So we can't just go mow the grass.
No.
We have to have an administrative warrant.
Can't mow the grass, I can't tow the car. I can tow it, but I have to go get a warrant. And it has to be done, like if I do it, it would have to be done that day. You got 48 hours, but if I'm only here that day, it would have to be done and the warrant returned that day.
I don't think it's the town's responsibility. Or just condemn it and tear it down.
What though would it meet condemnable standards?
Just by looking on the outside, I don't see enough on it that I can do a minimum housing case on it. If they're in there with no power, no water, you can do a minimum housing case for that.
I was just wondering if they got power on it.
They don't. That has been acknowledged. There is no power, there is no water. The person that was in the house that spoke to Hannah, he said, "Are you gonna turn the water on?" He said, "'Cause we don't have power or water." So they do not have either.
Do we go by there? Cause I think we should go by and check to make sure, get a meter reading, scan
Yes.
it just to make sure they don't, cause they will
I
cut
take the
that.
meter
They're gonna
out.
cut- Yeah.
I take the meter
If
out,
they cut
unless they're gonna
that,
put a cheat stick in it.
We do have, I leave the meter in because we have Hannah doing a dialogue every week. So we'll
Okay.
know if it's back on. If they put a cheat in, we'd have to go open it up and look,
Right.
which is more dangerous for our people. Paul, have we talked to the bank on, are they going to foreclose on this at some point or something?
That I haven't, that wouldn't be my responsibility.
I'm asking
Oh,
Paul.
is
Yes,
that-
it is.
oh, okay.
That's-
I don't know whether they're moving forward on that or not. I can't seem to get any traction on them taking any action one way or the other. I have to go, I don't remember which bank it is, but I'll have to take a look at that.
and depending if there's any money left over, because you'd be on the bottom of the list
Yeah.
as far as retrieving any money.
Yeah.
And the county doesn't move too fast on tax collecting either,
Yeah,
to say the least. Right. But maybe a minimum housing case, because if you get the folks out of there, you know, if there are folks in there and there's no power and there's no water, maybe that's an angle to it.
And for me to do that, I've got to catch them in the house, which they seem to know I'm here in the mornings and they're not in the house. Because when I went there, they were out in the yard.
I think they're kind of getting slick at evading
Yeah.
when they expect somebody to see if they're there.
The other problem is with the grass and everything, it's just gonna keep growing,
Oh, it's
and the neighbors
big.
are gonna complain.
But we can't go on the property, right,
Well-
because it's posted.
You can, but you just gotta get a warrant. It's not that hard to get. You just have to do that to be legal, to go on there and do anything. I can go on the property to the front door, that's as far as I can go. I can go in there and post, like if I want to post civil penalties, I can go post it on the door, but I can't go around back, I'm not supposed to go around the side of the house or anything unless I have the warrant.
Do you have somebody, will you have a deputy or somebody with you when you do this?
No, I don't
To
need
keep you from
No.
harm's way
I
or
don't need-
whatever?
I'm prepared for most of the stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'd be packing too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like it could go dangerous.
Anywhere I go that I think there's trouble, I'm alert, so I'm prepared. Because I go in a lot of areas down there to coast it, they're dead end streets, and it's a real bad area, and I know it's drug dealers, and so I'm prepared, I'm used to being around areas I have to be real alert. And I've met him, and he wasn't threatening toward me.
So do we want to just give them the notice and start collecting fines?
You could
Uh,
do the fines, you could start the fines, and then when the grass just gets unbearable, then you could cut it, and that would add to the bill, but when you cut the grass, that would stop the fines for the grass. We can still do fines for the trash if you don't have to clean it up to cut the grass. And I can,
or could we move to foreclose if we got our fine total high?
That's what you'd wanna do is start the fines so that they accumulate over time.
get them high enough and you can foreclose on the property.
And I agree. And then when the grass gets bad enough, go out there to kind of protect the neighbors a little bit. And then it'll come back, right? And then, but the fines are still gonna run for all the other stuff, for the trash and everything.
So I can get the growing office to print it, I can post it Thursday, and it gives them 10 days to come in compliance. And it'll tell them when they're, by this date, if it's not compliance, the fines will start, and it'll tell them how much they are per day and everything, which I've had no contact with them, so I don't expect any notice from anybody. I've had no response from anybody about that property.
How do we get somebody to go, who mows it? And
So
who
we have
protects him if he goes out there and starts mowing, they come out the door and.
I mean, we do have a contract with Rusty. He's willing to go out and do that. It's $60 an hour, and then he does per square foot, depending on whether it's a tractor, utility tractor and bush hog. So he's got different pricing, whether he has to use heavier equipment, weed eaters, lighter equipment. So, if it's over 9 inches, it's gonna require the bush hog, he says. So Rusty would be the one, if he was comfortable to go out there and,
Get the administrative warrant and meet them out there
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah,
You
that day.
schedule it, so that.
Yeah, schedule it, and I can be there with him, if he feels uneasy, I can be there with him.
okay.
And if you would get a towing contractor, I'll tow
Do
that
the
car.
same thing, okay.
Yeah, but the town needs a towing contractor, so you don't have any responsibility. Once they tow it, nothing falls back on you, where you're not responsible for any of the storage fees or anything.
Talk to Battleground, see if they can handle that.
And then I can post the car and have it towed.
Would it pay to try to get hold of the sister? Surely she can talk to her, the sister that owns the house.
Yeah, start the paperwork and see if you can
You would
locate the
think.
sister.
I don't know who her I can't remember the sister's
And I'll
name.
try to find out, but
Okay,
Make an effort
So
to.
you want me to go ahead and start the process and post it Thursday?
Yeah,
For the cell phone
let's
to start?
start the
Okay.
process. So,
you know, the neighbors are all up in arms about it.
they're all
That's what
set.
I feel
Yeah.
horrible about that.
If it was my next door neighbor, I'd be really upset.
Yeah, I don't blame them,
Yes.
it's a mess.
It is a mess.
It is.
so this way, we're at least doing what we can for the neighbors. We'll get it to a point where they either do something or we can foreclose and condemn
Yeah,
it.
once you get it high enough, you can take the property, foreclose on it.
What's high enough?
I don't know what the property's worth, you know, it'd be in the thousands of dollars. Then you put a lien on the property.
Yeah.
Start foreclosure.
And if-
With the water
if
bill.
the
I was
sister
gonna
will
say,
talk
that's
to
a
you,
start.
and she has the ability to communicate with her sister who's wherever she is.
Right.
Maybe getting a power of attorney so that the sister that lives here can act on her behalf.
Gotcha.
Because to the degree there's any value to her in that asset,
Mhm.
it sounds like somebody that could probably use a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And if she was the power of attorney, she'd have the ability to get that property sold. And somebody will buy it and fix it up and clean it up. 'Cause that's what you need, somebody who can take action. And so if the sister would be willing to
Okay.
facilitate that, and we'll be glad to do a power of attorney and she can go get it signed, whatever you gotta do.
You can,
Check with social services, because if they have to know the names of everybody.
I know that the son is in the social services system.
Knowing the son, they should know his aunt.
Well, and if he's got a caseworker
Yes, he
who
does.
wants to reach out to our office, we'll be glad to talk to him.
Okay.
Because what they might be doing is looking for assets to put into the clerk's office for the benefit. Is the son an adult or a?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But still, have assets that are held by a guardian for somebody else's benefit.
if you talk to her and she does go that route, if she would give me permission to own the property, I don't have to have a warrant.
Okay,
If I get her permission, I can bypass that sign.
okay, if she's the power of attorney.
If she gets power of attorney
Yes.
and she gives me permission to go on the property and do what needs to be done, I don't have to go get a warrant. Nobody does. If she gives her permission, if she got power of attorney.
Okay.
Have we looked to see who the tax bill for that house is, names it in, or?
You know
Yes.
her name.
Yeah, I know who the
We
owner
have
is.
her email that is still valid, but no one answers. We have her phone number that no one answers. It's, we had all the contact info, it's, no one answers any of it.
If social services is involved, have them reach out to us.
Okay,
Because if you're in a situation where the owner of the house is incompetent or not able to handle, has been determined to be incompetent or any of those things, they'll appoint a guardian for her.
okay.
Okay, and so maybe if she's in Orange County, maybe they've done that in Orange County, and then there's a whole thing, there's a whole lot of things that we can do with that.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
our office does that, serves as public guardian for Alamance County,
Okay,
so. Because that's the long-term fix, is to change ownership.
yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, so then we'll begin the fines then.
I'll post it.
Notice-
I'll get,
Yeah, the notice procedures, and then we'll start fines.
I'll call her and get her to print the letter, and when I come Thursday morning, I'll post it. And it's usually 10 days, it gives them 10 days to rectify the problem, which I know that's not gonna happen, so. And then I'll have to look in your ordinance and see what's the most we can fine them, because you wanna fine them as much as you can per day.
Yeah.
Most towns are $50, but if we can go a little higher than that, it'll add up a lot faster, and then you got more room to work.
Okay, very good. Thank you for attending tonight.
Appreciate it, Pat.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Okay.
Did you wanna talk to them about the car situation?
Oh, we'd had, yes, while he's here, we'd had a complaint about numerous amount of vehicles at a house down here on 62. He did check into that, and if you want to explain that to them,
About 10 or 12 cars.
Yeah, she had 5 that didn't have regular tags on, and I spoke to her. She has got insurance on them through an umbrella policy for her company. She has a company. She told me that they have a car lot, they own the garage right down here.
Yeah.
She said they have a car lot, and people were stealing the cars off the lot. So she was bringing them up here at night. And I told her, I said, you're not selling cars off of that property. She said, no, we're just putting them there, they all run. We've got dealer tags for them, we just don't leave them on there on a permanent basis, which technically because they have insurance and they do have a tag, they're legal. But if you wanted to amend an ordinance that this is how many cars you can have in your yard. In other words, there's I think it's Person County, 6 cars. Anything over that, they consider it a car lot. So they cite you. So,
I counted 13 at one time, and then on the weekend, it may be 3.
yes, now she said it was a 5-bedroom house, so they have a lot of
Oh, I know.
people
I
that
think
live
it's-
there.
I think it's 2 families live there.
Yeah, and she said at one time that they came and everybody met there, and then they went on a trip somewhere. Of course, everybody left their car there. So,
But at this point, if somebody has 20 cars on their property, we can't say anything.
as long as they've got
Insurance
insurance
tag.
and a tag, then they're legal.
So that is a consideration for you if you wanna think about amending that ordinance and putting a number in there that would seem like excessive to have at a property.
When you're bored in your office, call the neighboring cities and see if they have any limits or anything.
And see, where I live in Greensboro, you can't park your car on the grass. In other words, if I wanna park my car in my front yard on the grass, I get a ticket.
But how about if it's in the drive, as long as it's in the
If
driveway?
it's in the driveway, or you can be in front of the house, it cannot be on the yard, on the grass.
So 6 cars can go in the driveway,
If they'll fit, yeah.
right, or 8.
Well, what happens if they take and dump a couple truckloads of gravel and kill the grass?
Then they'll give you gotta have a permit, you gotta have so much grass per house.
They have an awful lot of land there, it's
Yeah.
a problem.
So,
You know, they can be in any sort of.
they have some strange ordinances, I've got an ordinance on my trash can. It has to be off the street by 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, or it's a $25 fine. The first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes up from there.
Yeah.
Not unheard of.
No, they got some strange things.
Everyone think about this, we'll have a discussion, see if we wanna do anything at the next meeting.
Just something to think about, but she is legal. At the moment, she's legal. I know there's a lot of cars there. And I actually sent her a letter, and she called me and talked to me, and then I went up there and looked at everything. And she has all the paperwork and everything, so she is legal as it stands now.
And she's even responsive.
Yeah, she did call, she called me,
Yeah.
She probably called me the very day she got the letter, so. She said they own this garage here, and I think they have something in Elon, and either Gibsonville or Burlington, they have something. So, she was very polite, very nice.
Okay, well, thank you again.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it, thank
No
you.
problem.
You have a good evening.
Okay, now, moving on to the utility policy, all 120 some odd pages that you all received either via paper or electronics. I personally have read the whole thing. I came up with a couple minor issues I communicated to Misty. She'll show you the changes I made. One was just on who actually reads the meters, which is us.
There was just, wording changes from, ORC to utility staff.
Right, I did add on the stuff you can't put in sewers, rags and wipes, including flushable wipes, because I'm sure Arnold would yell at me if I didn't do that. And Arnold has read his sections pertaining to the duties of the ORC and has said that they're good, so does anyone on the board have any questions, comments, or anything on this? And that's so you understand, these are the actual policies. We already have a ordinance for water and sewer service and everything. This defines how we do things, what we will do, and so on. one of the things that I brought up before and why I asked for the other amendment is because of situations like this house, and we've had a few others where the $100 deposit we have on rental properties is inadequate. If the people that was squatting had walked in with $100, they would have run up a $300 or $400 bill inside of a month, and we would have been out again because they wouldn't have paid it, and we would have cut it off, and we'd be out more money. At least this way, we're out less money. We haven't changed that $100 deposit in probably 20 plus years. So, that's why I asked for that. The policy references the fee schedule, which is part of our budget ordinance, where every year we set the fees for various village services. So we would need to amend that too. Do we have any other questions, comments on this?
We can take this, chapters at a time, if you want to adopt it in chapters. If you don't want to put the whole thing through at once, that's totally understandable. I would like I had said earlier, the primary consideration is chapters 1 through 4. Those are the ones that we've worked on to make sure that, if we have someone that moves in, so when this came up and these folks said that they had the right to be there, and I asked if they had a rental agreement, I checked with Paul and I checked with the school of government, and I did not have the right to ask for that or look at that because it was not written in a utility policy. And if I ask for it from one person, I need to ask for it from anybody else that's gonna be renting. So, I wanted to cover us, cover the village, make sure that everything we do, we have ground to stand on. And so, this is why this exists now. So the things in here, the property ownership and occupancy verification, rental property accounts. If you have delinquent accounts with us, if you lived here and you left a $200 bill, when you come back, we're not just gonna reinstate water for you at a different address. We need you to clear that bill up and then pay a deposit and then get your account going. And we won't just transfer it over from an address either or into someone else's name just because. So those are some of the highlights. There was one other, like making sure we have things in here, things like our billing cycle is always the same. And if you don't receive a bill, it doesn't relinquish your obligation to pay that bill. And the other thing that I found that would be really helpful to us is moving from that 90-day cutoff to a 30-day cutoff, because people are accruing huge bills that they cannot pay. And it's not that I want to cut someone off, because I have put stipulations in here for payment agreements, ways that we can try to help as much as we can. But making sure that because paying your water bill is what we're paying Burlington. So we need to make sure that that enterprise fund stays very functional. So that's the other big thing in here, and that is up to you. But that 30-day cutoff, essentially, if you get a bill July 30th, you're not gonna get cut off until September. So still, we're not gonna cut you off August 30th. You have to be 30 days behind the due date. So if the due date is September 20th, then we're gonna cut you off if it's August 20th, we're gonna cut you off September 20th. So you gotta be 30 days out from that due date. But you can see that if we're doing that 90 days, how far behind that's allowing bills to accrue. So I feel like it's important to find ways to keep from things like that happening.
All this will help reduce the need to increase water rates on people that actually pay their bills on time and do everything. It's, it's a fundamental bill you have to pay, and we've had too many problems over the years to continue to live with. It's, the garage here, when it was Village Car Care, we lost over $1,000 on them from their water bills that they didn't pay when they were getting in trouble at the end, and Ben wasn't able to shut them off, and we never were able to collect that. So, it's, as I said, I've read the entire policy. I've gave Misty just a couple changes. None of them were significant. She did an excellent job on it as far as I was concerned, and it defines everything. It formalizes all the procedures that we follow now, but this way they're written down. Hannah knows what she needs to do. Misty knows what she needs to do. And if I remember to read it again, I know what I need to do when they come to me with the decision. So.
And hopefully this would also be a document that if Hannah and I were just gone tomorrow, somebody could walk in and pick this up, because it's every step. That's why the document is long. It's every step. It's the how-tos, it's the whys, it's the ground that you have to stand on. It gives you the ordinance or the, state law, whatever it is, whatever authority there is to stand on. So somebody should be able to come in, pick the document up, and figure out how to bill, how to collect, and the ORC, what he does, and the different jobs that are here and the things that we have. So it's a very encompassing policy and procedure, and hopefully we'll do this for a couple other things so that you guys would never be in the lurch. If you decided you needed new staff tomorrow, you could hire, and they're gonna have something to work from.
And, I'm in favor of passing the whole thing because it is a board policy. We've all had a chance to read it and everything. It's amendable at any time the board, if we decide something isn't working the way we think it should, we just need to amend it. It's not an ordinance, it's a policy. We don't have to post notices or do anything. We can just go at our next meeting, if something isn't working, we can amend the policy. It's not subject to the rules of an ordinance where we have to actually post notice and have 2 meetings on it and everything. It's all, that's why I pointed out that a policy is different from the underlying ordinance that says we will do this. And so, is there any other discussion on this? Okay, do I have a motion to accept this as presented?
I'll say that.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. And I'd just like to compliment Misty on all the work she put into this. When she found out that that's what we require a lease to make sure.
Is that what spawned,
That was one of the sparks on this.
Yeah.
The fact that we had all these bills and whatever to collect was a spark that we needed to cut down the 90 days to pay before we cut your water off. All these things that were, a problem in terms of costing the village money and making life difficult here. And that's why at this point, I'd like a motion to amend the fee schedule to change the rental deposit for water service to $200.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Okay. So, you got a little bit more money when they don't pay. Now, okay, the next item on the agenda, let me get to my stuff, is the personnel policy. I have my notes on this that I'll start with. Okay, I have gone over this, and I've spoken to a couple of board members, Tim and Barry and Ken. On the vacation schedule that's in here now, we kind of feel that it's excessive. What we'd like to change it to, and what I'm proposing, is we go with when you initially hired, instead of 15 days of vacation, I'm doing this as days, not hours, because I like days and I prefer to track that way. But instead of 15 days for new hires, we go to 10 days for new hires for the first either 3 or 5 years. My preference would be 5, it's a board decision, obviously. And after 5 years, you get 15 days of vacation, 5 years of service with the village. We're looking at I'd like to see a limit on carryover of no more than 6 days without approval from the mayor. You know, if you say, hey, look, I want to go to Europe and I'm going to be off for months next year, I want to carry over 10 days, you know. But in general, 6 days would be the limit on carryover, so that we don't build up these huge backlog of things that have to be dealt with. And any other hours that aren't carried over, that way I'd like to have it as a basically use it or lose it proposition. And so that's what I'd like to change the vacation schedule to from what's in here. One of the problems is that when Misty was working on it, we picked up on the 10 hours for each day of work, which dated back to when we were on a 4-day work week and we were working 10-hour days. So when you go to 5-day work weeks, it's more hours than you need to take a day off. So the intent was always to be able to take 1 day off for the month of work, but when we went to an 8-hour day, you only needed 8 of the 10 hours, you had an extra 2 hours floating there. So this would correct out that now that we're back on the 5-day work week. Do we have any, I open this up now to board discussion on what you guys would like to see.
Well, here it says vacation may be taken in quarter-hour increments. I thought we were gonna change that to half-day.
Yeah, half day, minimum vacation use would be a half day.
Okay.
So you can take, I like a half day because that way if you have a doctor's appointment or a dentist or something, you don't have to take a whole day off and you can schedule, I'm gonna be off for the afternoon.
They don't leave 15 minutes early every day.
Right, good catch.
I was also looking at the sick leave, so it's 10 hours a month, 128 hours a year. Right, so is that also looked at as, I suppose I could call up and say, I'm sick, and can you use that as your vacation, so to speak?
You theoretically could, but you have to be sick, and as the administrative officer, as you see in the policy, I have the right to ask for a doctor's note on it. And, but, bringing that point up, do we, again, what you brought up was just 10 hours a month. Do we want to make it 8 hours to match the standard work day? Because again, it dated back
Do
to.
you wanna go back to, do you wanna do days for sick leave instead of
Yeah,
hours,
1
like
day
you're
a
gonna do
month.
days for
Yeah,
vacation?
days. I would do everything by days.
Let's go back to the 1 day a month.
Tracking and all that stuff becomes a lot easier, just like with the half days, it's easier to track than 2 hours here and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so, well.
And then, the carryover, is it for the entire year, or are you gonna make it expire by a certain time?
It'd be for the whole year.
Okay.
And, and as a side issue, as part of this, I'd like to declare the official calendar year for all of this to be July 1st to June 30th, match our fiscal year and everything. That's not clear in the policy, we need to add it. So, we'll cut it back to the 1 day, not the 10 hours. And, okay, any other comments on this?
The only other thing that I had was, there is no request form for vacation time as such. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something real simple.
Sure.
Goes to you, goes to him, gets approved. I mean, we're talking about a one-day thing.
Remind me, and I'll give you a copy of the sheets I have at work that PPE puts out, a firm I use, that track employee days off reason and all that other stuff.
You could use, do we
Nice
have an
little-
Outlook calendar that we use? You could put it in the calendar, couldn't you, as a, like, the person that requests would put it in the calendar, it would pop up to approve or,
Yeah, you could easily do something.
yeah, something like
Okay,
that,
yeah,
that's how we do
yeah,
it.
set that up, because that way I'll get my copy to know what's going on.
I mean, it keeps you from having to print out a bunch of paperwork, but that's how we do it at work, you kind of put in a calendar and then the supervisor approves it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll get the notice and approve or deny it electronically. I try not to print paper. You know, I read the other policy online, this one I printed because I needed to, you know, be careful about it. Okay,
Do we want to have any blackout time, or just, obviously it can be overruled with approval, but
it has to be approved, the only blackout time that,
would be budget.
yeah, well, the budget actually, June would be the only real blackout
May,
time.
June, like that's what I would.
Yeah, well, June more so because we're doing the end of year amendments, changes
Mhm.
and all that. The budget, Misty, is part of her job, so she will get that done. No, I think we should just leave it out of
As
approval.
approval,
Yeah.
okay.
And, you know, if it doesn't, if we have people not showing up, then we'll have to amend the policy or replace people.
Alright.
Okay. Any other discussions on this?
Another thing that was on there was about a parental school leave, I think it was up to 4 hours, that was section 23.
okay.
Is
I
that,
know what you're talking
is
about.
that like for going to a teacher conference thing?
It is, it's for if your kid had a play in the middle of the day, or you needed a conference, or there was something particular. And this policy was built by Erica Phillips, and she is with the MAPS group. So this particular policy was created for a really tiny town in Charlotte, McAdamsville. And we took their policy,
They gave us a copy.
she's gracious to give me a
The
copy.
village gave it, not the people who wrote it.
And so Erica was the one that wrote McAdamville's policy, and they're set up, they have 2 employees and a town administrator. So they were set up exactly like us, and so Erica took the policy so that she wouldn't have to rewrite, because it was gonna be about a $5,000 to write the whole personnel policy. So we took this, and for $400, we fixed it for the village. So, yeah, so it is, tweakable, for lack of a better word, but yeah, however you want to word it. So I just want you to know that it is a solid personnel policy from a reputable group.
These are the people the League of Municipalities suggested you use. And they actually told us about McAdamsville, and Misty has had a bunch of nice conversations with their administrator, and they were very generous and gave us the copy to start with. So, and then, again, as I say, if we find something that doesn't work, that we don't like the way it's happening, we have the ability to sit here in the next meeting and change anything we want in this policy. Well, you guys have the right to. I just get to ask for the motion. So, any other comments on this? Okay, if not, I'll take a motion to approve it with the changes that we've discussed.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. That one's off the table for
For a few days.
we've been working on this all year. Okay. Okay, now, Misty, the trash pickup requests in the ETJ?
There is a discussion, I've talked with Paul, and so he may have some more insight on this, but, we have a resident, Ms. Couch, has reached out about, she feels like she should have the right, being in the ETJ where we have zoning authority and things like that she should have the right to be able to choose a different trash provider. So in Alamance County, they contract with GFL and Republic, and those are your two choices. And we know how frustrating GFL is. So I've talked with Christopher. This has been a conversation with county commissioners, lawyers, several different things. Christopher is happy, very happy to take on the ETJ trash pickup. But it all comes down to whether or not by law we can do that.
Yeah, the problem is that GFL has the franchise agreement with the county to serve southern Alamance County. And the ETJ doesn't give us the legal right to provide those services. We have planning in the ETJ, but really nothing else.
Well, we can supply water service if they want it.
Right, yeah, outside. So I've reached out to Rick Stevens at the county, who's the county attorney. I just emailed him in last week. I haven't heard back yet, but I will. And to see if there's any way that we can do it. I mean, obviously, one option is annexation. You can always voluntarily ask, petition to come into the village.
Yeah,
but
that'd be non-contiguous and other problems and everything.
yes, right. But I think the answer I'm going to get back is that they cannot give us permission to do that because that would violate GFL's franchise in that part of the county. But I do hear that there's a lot of disgruntled customers, and the county commissioners are looking at a way to make this happen.
I was talking to a couple of the commissioners and they are very unhappy.
Yeah.
They dread the day that GFL picks up. They get nothing but complaints.
And I just wouldn't want to put our service provider in the situation of violating the franchise agreement, because that's what happens when you start delivering services in violation of that franchise agreement. Then our service provider is going to get a nasty letter from GFL, and round and round we go. So we're trying to sort it out beforehand at a county level to see what we can do.
When is the county contract up?
I don't know. I don't know what. Those are usually pretty long-term contracts. They're more like the 5 and 10 year kind, but I don't know when that's up.
When I spoke with Steve Carter, he said that they're working on it, because I wanted to say it was coming up in January that they were renewing. That may not be right. I don't know if he had the right time frame, but he said they were trying to decide between allowing Alamance County to choose whoever they want, or have the two services but put some heavier stipulations in their contracts to try to improve the service. So
How does a person in the county financially pay for that service they have? Because I know back in the day when my parents lived out in the county, I thought they had to pay a monthly fee. It wasn't taken out.
You probably pay
Yeah.
monthly fee, don't you?
I pay a quarterly fee, and
Okay.
it's $78.90,
Okay.
and I think Chris is cheaper.
Does she have to pay that as a,
Yeah.
can you just say, you get on the phone and call somebody that you know that picks up trash and say, well, you start picking up my trash for a fee?
I can't call, I have to sit, I had contacted Chris to see if he could do mine. He can't because of this contract. So I went to a county commissioner, and then another one, and maybe another one. I talked to several and said, I'm glad that, from what I understood, it's great that they have this contract so that everybody in the county has the opportunity to have trash pickup. However, I think that we ought to be able to pick who we want to. It's nice that they have it, but
If you're not happy with it,
no.
you should be able to
And
pick.
then I call, they want, I get it, they want your trash can out there at 6:30 in the morning, so we drag it out. It could be there 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. I call, nobody picked up the trash, oh, the truck was broke, oh, we didn't have enough people to pick up, they'll be here. If y'all dealt with them, y'all crazy. So, anyway, then my next, that little voice, you're in the ETJ, we have to come to y'all for everything. Can we not at least have the permission for just this little area? And it wouldn't take up, I mean, we're not sabotaging GFL, they're doing it on their own, but let us have this ability to do this. But yeah, we have to pay quarterly, and
We
I
just
have
pay-
two properties, so it's that times
So they
two.
just pay quarterly to the village if we got one in like that, but right now it's, you got to, you go by
Yeah,
the contracts.
when you go online, and they won't even let you pay, say, I owe them right now. I'm always paid, but I was hoping this would come through. And, so, but you have to pay them that fee, and it's,
So right now, there's nothing that we can do.
Yeah, we're the next step.
No, and I think the next steps are talking to the county, and if the franchise agreement is coming back up, the only thing I could foresee that the county would even think about would only be if we wanted to take on service to the entire ETJ, which is a bigger situation than what you have right now, right? And that whether they would allow municipalities to do trash service in the ETJ or not. I don't know that municipalities want to do that, especially the ones that do their own trucks and everything else. But it would be something, you at least want to know what your options are. And so we've started that conversation with the county to at least, I'll talk to the county attorney and see if you want to keep talking to the county commissioners.
yeah, they told me, Steve Carter said that, town council, they said that their contract is coming up, said watch in the fall, around November, that's when it's coming back up for discussion with the county commissioners. And that they would kind of decide then. And he said, we could just let y'all pick who you want. I said, that works for me. But, I don't know if they'll do that. Because if there's a problem, then nobody has a recourse.
We got it with Chris. That's right.
Yeah, but, yeah, and see, and I don't know, can Chris do the whole county? Could he, or if they would section it off so that a certain portion of Alamance County?
Well, that.
Chris did want to apply with Alamance County to be a contractor, but, I don't think.
Not to do all of southern Alamance County, because they have it divided half and half, northern and southern Alamance County. So there's two franchise areas. Yeah, it's all, so it's a big undertaking to do that size.
Yeah.
And I don't, right, so the question is the county gonna change the parameters of the franchise area and chop it up a little bit more? And I don't know. But we'll be in communication with them, and anything I find out, I'll let you know, and they'll let you know. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The last item of business is the roofing contract for this building. And we have the two bids. Trenton has reviewed them and he's put a letter in. And I'm waiting here. Misty, I'll let you take this at this point, or Trenton.
I sent out the copies of the bids. Trenton did reach out to Bradley Qualls of Redeem Roofing. So his bid is maybe $100 or a couple $100 cheaper. But Trenton and I, after looking at the documents, I printed off exactly what Bradley sent me, and this is what Strong Roofing gave us. Even though Trenton talked to Bradley, so one of the issues was the warranty, the 10-year workmanship warranty, and that was not in Bradley's quote to us. He did tell Trenton that he could match that, and Trenton asked him to please put that in writing, send it to us, to him, to me, and we never heard from Bradley. So.
And this has been Bradley's demo, right?
So I've not ever met Bradley. I haven't. I've spoken to him on the phone, and he seems like a nice person. I know that he came out when Nick was here. And I'm pretty sure that he looked at the roof. Let me see what is, my brain for names today. Austin Willis with Strong Roofing. Austin has been out 3 or 4 different times. He's been up on the roof with different folks from the insurance company. He worked really diligently to try to get the insurance to cover because of the type of shingle that it was. And that didn't work out. There wasn't, enough damage. But they both seem like nice people. I've just had a lot more interaction with Austin with Strong Roofing. He's
You mean with CT, right?
do what?
CT is Austin, right?
Austin is Strong Roofing.
Bradley
Okay.
is CT.
Okay, Bradley, okay.
So sorry. Yeah. So Austin's quote for now he gave you 3. We chose the middle because his recommendation was there's not that much difference in the best and the middle shingle. So he felt like the middle ground was, and that is $1365.83. And Bradley's, I believe, is $12,955. So, and it is the same shingle. We just have in writing a longer warranty with Strong Roofing. And it's not to say that Bradley would not honor that, it's just not in writing. He didn't give it to us in writing. He didn't reach back out. I've not heard from him. I'm sure he is busy, but I just have to speak from the interactions that I've had with them.
I've had the same issues with him, trying to get something repaired on my roof one time. I didn't use him, but
Oh, okay.
3-4 weeks later, I finally got somebody else, then he called. It's like,
Well, I'm always.
I ain't got time, I needed a leak fixed, So,
Yeah.
He's always responded very quickly to me and the neighbors in our neighborhood that have used Bradley.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that if he told you that he will guarantee him for 25 years, he will.
I'm sure he would.
And he will, and and I'll call him myself if that's what we decide to do, but he will do that.
Yeah.
He'll do what he says.
My funny is Trenton couldn't get him to send an email or fax over saying that.
Did you talk to him by phone or just email or whatever?
I've tried to get in touch with him by phone and I'm sure he's busy. So most of the time, I've only had a couple of communications with him and it's been email.
Yeah.
I think we spoke once on the phone.
Yeah,
So I
because he's
treated
usually
it-
out on the job.
I treated it as if it was a bid that we would normally accept when we do any of our water lines, sewer lines, anything of that nature, and I took it for face value of what was submitted. I gave him a call as a more of a courtesy to kind of say, hey, I don't see this in here, was it something that was omitted, was it something that's missing? He said, yes, it was. I said I needed it in writing so I can confirm the 2 bids, confirm that they were equal. With the prices, I figured that they were very comparable. I researched the materials and talked to different suppliers and a couple contractors that we've used in the past on the materials. They said everything was very comparable between the 2. So the price difference directly in my decision came directly down to the warranties. And all 3 warranty values, the workmanship and for the materials, they were greater lengths with Strong Roofing than they were for Bradley's company. So that's what went into my decision.
Well, but as far as, the materials and everything that we're talking about, I don't see that much difference in the price. But I just don't want people to get the impression that we don't wanna give Bradley a bad name.
Yes,
No,
nothing-
no,
I have
no.
I
nothing
mean, you
against
know,
Bradley,
cause
that's
he's
why I wanted
not
to
a bad
explain it.
person and he does good work.
That's why I wanted to explain it, because I do have a
Right.
conversation relationship with Bradley.
Right.
It was strictly based off what was submitted and the warranties and the differences in price that were
Okay.
submitted in those two bids.
Just to add in my 2 cents, Bradley did the roof on the fire station and they did do the 10-year warranty.
Okay.
Workmanship warranty. It wasn't originally on paper, I imagine it's the same one you got,
Probably.
but they did honor the 10-year warranty. And we had no complaints, they were great to work with. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's totally y'all's decision. It's, I don't have anything negative to say about either one of them. I think either one of them would be very fine to work with.
Well, I think it's very obvious that I prefer Bradley's company because I know his
You
work.
know them, yeah.
Yeah, that's my standing. Yes, well, yeah, redeem, that's
And they are
right,
technically
redeem.
the low
I
bidder.
like it all.
If we were to approve Bradley, could we approve it contingent on getting that warranty in writing?
You can do that.
Now, what's the difference in the other warranty? What's
There
this
was
sheet?
a material warranty, and I'm not looking at them in front of me, so I can't exactly remember. But there's a sheet with 3 different warranties. One was for the color, one was for the material itself, and then one was for the workmanship. And Strong Roofing just offered a longer longevity
On all,
on all of them.
okay.
And that was part of taking that middle package,
Yeah,
which is what changed the price to make it more. If you took the
the
base package,
yeah, that's,
Strong Roofing,
Match this.
those prices were very comparable and the same
Gotcha,
warranty.
okay,
their first package is $12,705.
okay.
So that's another consideration if you would like to rather go with the base package with less warranty than your price.
No, I'd rather have the warranty.
The middle package is the wind rating of 130 miles an hour, class 3 impact resistance, algae protection with 25-year stain guard warranty. That's our middle package with Strong, which I think is probably,
Same thing. it's
Same.
really,
yeah.
Same on the other one too.
Who could get to it the fastest? I mean, as far as completing the job, whichever one we take. Do we have any idea how long it would take?
I think, I really don't know. I've not asked. I did reach out to both of them in June to ask them if they needed to update either of their estimates that they had sent previously, and they both said no, that they would stand for the July. So I don't know what their schedules are, but it's,
So is Strong a local company? You've got a South Carolina address.
They have 2 locations. Their owners are 4, and they're a family owned. I've never worked with them, so I can't speak to who they are based on what I've read about them. It's 3 brothers and a father who own it. I'm pretty sure one of the brothers lives in South Carolina.
Harry, your
Well,
preference?
I've had good experience with Redeem, so I mean, I'm kind of with Gail on that.
Okay.
Same, I've had good experience with Redeem, technically they are the low bidder here on this package, so I don't know if we can do that contingency. But I don't have a problem awarding it to them based on them being low bidder.
I don't want low bid and not get the warranty.
Well,
That's
yeah.
okay, as long as we get the warranty
Yeah,
in place.
Yeah, but does anybody know anything about this company?
Look at your brother-in-law, can you get that warranty?
We can get that warranty.
All right.
Okay.
And
Contingent on the warranty for me.
so, okay, I'll take a motion to award it to Redeem, contingent upon him providing the 10-year warranty on workmanship.
So move.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Okay. At this point, I'll open the meeting up to public comment on any item anyone wishes to talk about. If you want to talk, come up to the microphone, identify yourself and your address, and you can talk.
Nadine Clark, 4432 South NC 62, and what I'm bringing before you, I was asked to bring. Number one is a suggestion to put a copy of the seal, the Alamance seal, on the green building to identify what it is. The second item,
Oh, hold on, Misty, put it on your schedule, get us some thoughts on it, and all for the next meeting, we can make a decision then. Okay,
and
I'll
the
let you
second
do it.
item is to contact the state or whoever, the historical marker down by the bridge that's sitting down, where, ask them if they will move it up where you can see it as you exit the village.
Is the one by the pump station?
Yes.
Okay,
That's all.
thank you. Any other public comments of any? Okay, any other board business?
I would like to see some kind of a gate put up down where we took to salvage that building, because like I said, I came through the other day and it was a four-wheeler just shot down through there, so. Like Arnold said, they're riding the sewer lines.
Misty, work on getting,
We need a gate, or do we like
Well,
a decorative
all the sewer
cigarette
locations.
fence, or?
Fence gate or something, but,
yeah,
you know, we need to
yeah,
discourage them from using that.
yeah,
But once they get started, it's just gonna be like Heritage Land, they're gonna just keep going.
Misty, work on getting a quote for what it would cost up on Serenity and the other locations they're accessing. And,
This guy lives right here that does fencing, I think. He's got the blue line fencing or something.
No. Arnold, can we gate anything off on the pump station, on the east?
We own the line of pump station,
Yeah, the pumps,
but it needs to be a gate so we can have access.
as long as I have a key and Arnold has a key and
I
Jerry
mean-
has a key, we're fine.
Serenity and the outfall areas is,
You can't gate those.
Especially
It's gotta be where everybody can see it, and you can't put like a cable up where somebody can't see it and get hurt, you put like a cable.
A real gate.
Eventually there'll be a house, so, right, at the end of Serenity, that whole area will be hopefully developed sooner rather
Yeah,
than
if the houses were to get in there, I think that would
Yeah.
stop, but I
Yep.
don't know how soon that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
right. All right, so definitely at the pump station, and are you wanting to try to gate off any property that we have on outfalls, easements?
Yeah, Baptist Church Loop, and, there's the, End of Liberty has an access point too that they're using, I'm sure.
Yes, that house and driveway there kind of stops that now.
They stopped
They stopped
going
over
down
to
there
the-
to that house when they.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
you said, Alamance Loop is where a lot of the access is.
okay, work on that. Any other board comments? Okay, in that case, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.
Yes, sir.
Doing all right, young lady?
Charlie said.
We will